G'day. Welcome to the This That Podcast, episode 220, coming to you live back in Sydney. Back home, home sweet home. There's no place like home. Just came back from a couple of weeks away in the United States of America. Spent most of my time in New York City, NYC, Manhattan. It was sick, bro. What am I going to tell you? Except for I loved it. It was crazy, fun, a little bit shady, a little bit scary at times, memorable. I went with my missus for her 40th birthday. And it was kind of a spontaneous decision that she proposed to me. She wanted to go see Tony Robbins, the self-development guru. Interestingly enough, he's got a Netflix special called "I Am Not Your Guru," and we went to see him. And he's Croatian. Just to start off the podcast like that, he's Croatian. I think his name is Ante Robic. It's not even Anthony Robbins. He's done that just so he can make more money because there's no one coming to see him under Ante Robic. Can I go? Everybody's put it together for Ante Robic. People are going to go, yeah, okay, but majority of people are going, I'm not going to go see that guy. Was he Croatian? Some communist? No, I'm not going to go see him. So, anyway, I just found that out later after I had paid several $1,000s to go and see him. Now, my missus had been getting into a bit of Ante Robic for some time in her car, driving to and fro work. And it was pretty amazing because when a woman gets into self-development, you back her. You back her, you say whatever needs to be said, just keep going, darling. You just keep going. Because inevitably, what self-development teaches in most popular forms of self-development is self-accountability, right? It's taking the blame. And that is something women are not doing easy. So when I heard her, I was like, God doth descended upon thee. And I'm going to let her, whatever she needs from me, you know. I'll wear a thick moustache all year and come out looking like some Mexican drug lord if she needs that for me to keep going, you know. I'll swap my name to Muhammad Abdul Rahman and keep going. But she wanted that, so I was like, baby, you know, you do what you have to do. I love self-development. Been doing self-development since I was a child. My first 15 years of the self-development did nothing for me, right? But it did. What it does, it sows the seeds. So people that are listening to this podcast, and they should be, I'm sowing seeds. I'm sowing seeds into ye's mindset and into ye's subcortex, subordinate, subterranean, subconscious, cortex. Core center? Anyway, whatever it is, I'm throwing seeds out there of wisdom. I'm trying to get some wisdom into my life. My life's a joke. But still some pepperings of wisdom going around. And I'm trying to put that out to the people that are listening to this podcast now, over 25,000 people. Thanks a lot, by the way. Round of applause for you guys. I love you guys. So what happened was she mentioned it to me, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Have you heard about Anthony Robbins before? She goes, yeah, I just came across him on this and that. He's awesome and he's great and he's all of that. I'm like, yeah, he's good, old auntie. And then she was like, one day after about a month of listening to him, she called me once and she goes, baby, I just wanted to say, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but a lot of what this guy is saying, every time I hear him, I think to myself, fuck, Vlad has been right. This is what Vlad's been telling me for years, and I've been looking at him and saying, shut up, man. Just do what I tell you. And I'm like, listen, baby, like, I'm coming from a good place, sweetheart. I'm not coming from a place of, like, self-gain only. Like, I do need a bit of gain. Like, let's be honest, I'm a human. I'm a flawed human. But at the same time, I'm thinking about you, baby. I'm trying to get you better a little bit, you know? And she's like, yeah, thank you, appreciate it. Let's not take it too far, but a lot of the stuff he's saying, you have been saying to me too. She goes, so I want to go to New York for my 40th birthday and also to see Anthony Robbins, a.k.a. Ante Robic, the Croatian motivational speaker. The Croatian motivation. That's what we're going to call this guy. Ante Robic, a.k.a. Anthony Robbins, the Croatian motivation. That's what he is. And he is Croatian, you could tell, man, because this guy has monopolized telling people how to be accountable into $1 billion business, and that's some Eastern Bloc European shit. He's diversified more than Elon Musk has. And Elon Musk is flying to Mars, putting electric things on your roof, and also voting for Trump. So he's gone all over the fucking shop. And so does Ante Robic. So I said to her, first thing I said to her is, oh, really? Because I don't want to like fuck around and tell her that, oh, it's a mental thing to do. Go to New York to an Anthony Robbins thing. Forget about it. There's millions of hours on the internet. Pick up a book. I've got Awaken the Giant Within. I bought it in 1997. I was fucking 12 years old or whatever I was at that point. I was at a real estate seminar with my dad. I bought Awaken the Giant Within. I thought the giant on the cover, which is Anthony Robbins, I thought he looked mental, full smiling with these huge horse kind of teeth and these gums, and this, he kind of looked like he looked happy. You want to read about it. You want to be happy. But at the same time, I was like, we don't need to fly to the furthest point from Sydney. There's nothing further than... if you go further, you're going around the block then. So I'm talking about point to point. I think New York's pretty much the furthest, right? And she goes, yeah, but I want to do it, and I'm going to do it. So do you want to come with me or not? Now, that's a threat. And when I hear a threat like that, I don't like it. So I said, I'm coming, all right? You're going to threaten me? I'm going to come, which is probably what you didn't want. You probably want to go alone. But you know what? I'm not giving you 10 days to yourself in New York City. Fuck that. I don't know what the hell's going to happen to you over there. And from what I heard, it's turned into a shithole with homeless people everywhere, drugs everywhere, defunding the police and stuff. And if this is all like some hearsay from the right-wing media, which is currently in my Instagram algorithm, and everything I do has got to do with just conservative people now, I've tried to sway it and bring it back to Kamala Harris. So I followed Kamala Harris and a couple of other lunatics and tried to bring it back. And as their stuff starts to fill my feed, I just unfollow, because the pretending and the acting and the self-righteousness and all of that, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the conservatives either now. Like, I've unfollowed them as well, because again, it's over. The election's over. I don't want to tell. I'm following bodyboarding videos, tennis, coaching, and a couple of little machines. Now, the machines are just so I can get more material for the shows. Don't think I'm out here like some deviant or some person that's not getting a good drilling at home with the missus. That is all been looked after. Thank the good Lord above. So back to this. I'm not giving her 10 days in New York by herself. I'm scared for her, right? She's 5'1". She's going to walk around here, like, doesn't know where she's going, get to Penn Station. Some homeless guy's going to ask her for $1. She can pull out a wallet with $650 and give it all to him. That's what my missus will do. She'll go, here, have it. If you need, what do you need? Oh, you're hungry. You got to feed your family. Oh, okay, here's $550, $100, $152. How much do you need? Just a little bit more. Yeah, no problem. Here's $350, $400, and just a little bit more. Just $455. Dad, I only got $600. Yeah, let me. I'll take that. I'll take that. You wait here. I'll give you some change. Then she'll be like waiting there for an hour and a half, and she'll call me and she'll go, he lied to me. He lied. I'll go, who lied? The homeless man with 3 teeth left. He said he was going to bring back change for $500. I go, that's what I should have come with you. This is the type of shit. As soon as he goes, you got any cash? I'm going to say, no, I don't. And I'm going to keep walking. You're going to hate me for it, but I'm going to save you $600 or $500, whatever it is. Anyway, so I went with her. While we were there, I did some work as well. Got to Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles, we stayed in Beverly Hills because I got good friends in Los Angeles. They said, don't stay in West Hollywood, which is like the gay capital. And we used to stay in West Hollywood all the time because there's like cool restaurants. But now it's just homeless people and trans flags everywhere. So I was like, I'm not going to go there. It's boring. And so we went to Beverly Hills, which I never used to go to because Beverly Hills is just bougie and suspicious of child, predators. So I didn't want to go there either. So, but we did this time, and it was a safer option, thankfully, because you go over there and there's just people in Rolls Royces. He's got a gold tooth. He's 62 years old now. He's getting Invisalign on his teeth done. He's reached all the financial milestones. He's on his 3rd marriage. His kids hate him. He's got a portfolio. He lives up in the Hollywood Hills. Now he's got Invisalign. Well, why not? Because one tooth on the side, when he hit a certain smile on the news network, when he was going to promote some new gas company that has become in the Fortune 500, he didn't like the look of that tooth. So now he's getting Invisalign. He's 64 and a half. He's getting Invisalign now. He's whitened his teeth to more shades than the heavens above. But now the Invisalign, popping that tooth back up. The tooth's going to come perfect. It's going to, when he smiles, he's going to look like a horse. A horse or some other barn animal with perfect, straight, kind of vegetarian-style teeth. Now, we got to LA. we landed the plane. Thank God, a white man flew the plane over, and we all know the bits about this. I did that bit on stage at the Los Angeles Comedy Store. Now, somehow, my awesome booking agent, Bone Presents, shout out to Bone Presents, there's going to be an announcement from us this week, but Bone Presents put me in touch with some lady at the Comedy Store, and I whistled then, and she goes, I can get you up here, Tuesday night. Yeah, you can come and do a spot, no problem. 15 minutes or whatever. I was like, it's a long time, man. In Sydney, these tight asses give me 7 minutes. Now, these guys didn't pay me, so granted, they gave me a little bit more time. So we went to, prior to the show, we went out to a restaurant and had some overpriced Greek food. I think we ended up spending, maybe $1,200. For me, my missus, and my two buddies, I shouted them because they've shouted me a myriad of times prior to this. Plus, I've stayed at their houses, at their parents' houses. We've known each other since 2006. So, just watching these people get old and uglier, it's just an interesting thing. Because when I met them, I was 22, 23, 24. I can't remember exactly. And they were like 20. So they're about 4 years younger than me. And just seeing how life has just belted people with the DNA stick. What are a DNA switch? I said that in my Catastrophe tour. The DNA switch is when God's up the top and he's looking at your case filing and he's got like a switchboard next to him and he's seen you going for a jog one day and just switches on the knee. He just goes bang, and now you've got your uncle Borne's knee. And Borne's knee has been fucked since he was 47.5, but you copped it at 40. So he just goes, oh yeah, here we go. Let's make Vlad's life interesting. IT band syndrome and knee simultaneously pops them up. Beep. And you're just like, you're running and you go, oh, niggle. Oh, what's that? It's not going away. That's what it is. God's up there with the DNA switchboard. And you're someone else super superficial. And then one day while you're sleeping, he just puts on the tits. DNA switch just puts that up. And you wake up and you're brushing your teeth and you decide to turn around so you can flush the toilet because it smells. And then you look to the side and you kept the side profile and you've got a beautiful tit that's just coming from the front and just creasing to the side, to the obliques. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen? And God's just up there, he goes, that's right, Bob. Look at that tit. You've been judging everyone superficially? You got tits. How am I going to get rid of them? You're not. Anyway, back to the story. Going to bring it back. He's brought it back. We're in Los Angeles. My mates are getting old and ugly. Now, one of them's gone grey. The other guy's starting to recede his hairline. Looks like Jim Carrey. My head's a joke. Like the whole thing. My missus, she's had 2 kids. Like everyone's traded. We're at trade-in prices at the moment. We're at trade-in prices. It's a shit-looking vehicle at the moment. As much as you want to put the cake on, as much as you want to lift the weights up, as much as you want to comb the conditioner through the hair. Continuing on, my computer just turned off all of a sudden. So, yeah, we're in Los Angeles. I don't know where exactly I was right at the end, but we were in trade-in prices with the look in life. But now we've gone to this restaurant, hung out. Then we've gone to the Los Angeles Comedy Store, and that was fun. The Comedy Store was jam-packed, full of people that were all stoned out of their minds. Is everyone stoned in LA? Like, can you have a day without weed? Like, what is the it's the same. I suppose it's the same with Sydney with their alcohol. Like, we're drinking alcohol every single day. They don't like alcohol as much as we do over there. There's something about Australia that makes us just fiending alcoholics. And I think it's just because of the lack of culture. Our culture is just alcoholism. Over there, their culture is like weed, but then they have a big comedy culture. They've got this movie culture. They've got like a fitness culture. They've got, I don't know, just like a culture of like, cause every state has a different vibe, they've got all different cultures. You know, you go to Alabama, there's a big barbecue culture. There's a big food family kind of culture there. Then you go to Florida, for example, there's a big South American or Central American influence there. So they've got different things, beach staff parties. And I'm pretending to be some type of well-traveled cunt, but I'm not. Like, all I'm saying is that we like alcohol a lot, and Americans have alcohol, but they don't like it that much. They don't like it as much as us, where we can't last a week without booze. And why would we? We're on a barren island. It's hot as shit. People are boring. There's tall poppy syndrome everywhere. And we've got to have a fucking beer. Like, we need a drink just to take the edge off the boringness. You can't talk to a neighbour over here. It's like, I suppose it's kind of not in America. In New York, it might be the same. You don't know your neighbours as much. But over here, I introduced myself to my neighbour the other day. I've been in the house for 7 months. He's just some old guy, took his bins out the front, and I was like, "G'day, mate." He goes, "G'day, mate. It's Robert, Bobby. People call me Bobby. Hey, mate, how are you? Hey, Vlad, is it? Yeah, nice to meet you. We've seen you here for about 7 months." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I haven't said hi. I haven't had time." It's different. Anyway, so I got to the Comedy Store, and a guy with autism was the MC. He spoke to me for 10 minutes, did not look me in the eye, not once. And I knew he had autism. Like, as soon as I sat down and he was talking to the exit, to the exit door behind me, and not once looked at me. But he was asking questions, but like looking to the side. And he was autistic. And if before you go and try to say that I'm some type of like autistic shamer or whatever you want to call him, he's the one that came out on stage and he goes, "Hey, what's going on? I'm autistic." He was the one screaming that. He was looking at the ceiling and screaming it to the crowd. And I am on board with him taking the piss out of himself. And I was looking at him and I was cheering. Extra, go, Aaron, something like that. And he was a top bloke, not that funny, but kind of hilarious, if that makes sense. Like, the bits he was writing, not to say mine are brilliant or anything, not saying that. So if you're going to cut that again, put the humble token on it, because I'm not trying to say he might even be better, but I'm just saying he was hilarious in his own way, anyway, let's go back to this. So he didn't open, he emceed, and he introduced all these comics. I got up, did my bits. Some of the bits went over the heads, right? And some of the bits hit pretty decent. And I was like, that's good enough for me. Getting a laugh over there is good enough. I'll get to New York after the short break, but New York was a lot stronger in response to the material. LA was a little bit here and there. People kind of take themselves quite serious over there, man. I could see like the girls, I'm doing bits about girls, and I could see a couple of them like with the pumped up lifts, their arms crossed like they think they're so good. I'm like, hey, bro, you're in a nightclub at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday with a fat masso comedian, talking about it, basically farting into an economy class seat. And there's an autistic guy talking about his cock prior to this. You're not, cool. Like, just get down to earth, uncross the arms, calm down. Daddy's not home. He's not going to judge you anymore. It's okay. Anyway, did the bits. And then I got off stage and I went home. And it was a kind of an iconic moment for me. Took some photos there with some other comedians that I quite like. Obviously, Jim Carrey, Eddie Murphy, Seinfeld, all these people that I grew up watching. Bill Burr. There was photos of a lot of Dave Attell, a lot of comedians that I love. And that was pretty much Los Angeles in a fucking opening Woggalog, to be honest. And then the next morning we got up with my missus and we went for a bit of a run, and then I went and got some bagels. Bagels are a huge thing in America. That's probably why Americans are a huge thing, because there's a lot of like bagels being roasted and toasted. They're putting cream cheese lox. I mean, smoked salmon, lox, capers, some onions sprinkled over the top of them. You can get that's like a Jewish thing. The Jewish people, they live a long time because they don't overindulge with the food. If you've seen the Jewish menu, it's catastrophe, bro. There's some beans in some tomato-based sauce with a lot of onions and garlics. And then you've got like gefilte fish, which is some fish that you find only in a salty lake in the Middle East. And then that's been smoked by 600 Jewish people in a couple of packets of cigarettes in a barn. And then you've got bagels, which is just a steamed bun of some sort. And you spread some cheese that's too soft for its own good and put a little bit of fish that was also smoked in some Norwegian house. So that's the kind of style that they're doing. And to be honest, it's fucking tasty as shit. I can see myself loving it. Right. All right, we're back. So the next day we got up and we ended up going to New York. So caught a flight over from LAX. Like, so think about it, man. I did a lot of traveling in a very short amount of time, short space of time. And, oh, yeah, I forgot about this, eh? Oh, yeah. I forgot about this, eh? Oh, shit, I forgot to tell you this one. Oh, this is going to be a good one, Tully. You're going to like this one, eh, Sully? And we caught a flight. We caught Qantas from Sydney to Los Angeles to LAX. And we didn't get business seats, right? Because we're tight asses. And we're just wogs that we think that you can go through life just corner cutting and being a tight ass. So what we did, we got the tight ass version of the economy seats, which is the exit row seats. You pay an extra $350 each. All of a sudden, you think you're Kanye West in there and Kim Catastrophian. You're sitting there with your missus. You're like, none of these nuggets behind us know how good it is here, bro. Move out of the way, bro. Go and bring me some food that's going to constipate me. Hurry up. Bring me something, what do they eat, those Germans? Not cashew nuts. They eat that other shit, man. Oh, come on, you got to give me the name of this. What are those things that it's just bread that's in some weird shape? Oh, it's in the worst food anyway. And you're sitting there, me and my missus, like, I'll order myself a beer. I go, get us a stone of wood, bro, hurry up, you know. She gets one, I'm cracking it, lifting my legs up, chilling out. I go, this is going to be a beautiful 13-hour flight now. I'm basically in the tight-ass version of business class. I'm in tight-ass business. And my missus was loving it. She's sitting next to me. Anyway, about 2 hours later, after they fed us some food that's not going to be digested for a week, they've turned off all the lights so everyone can sleep. But my missus's reading light stays on, right? Now, I don't know how it got switched on, but I just I'm watching Deadpool or a Bruce Willis movie or something. I'm sitting there watching 12 Monkeys with Bruce Willis. I'm trying to get in the zone. My missus taps me on the shoulder. She goes, babe, my reading light won't come off. This thing, it won't come off. I've hit everything. I've hit every button. It won't turn off. I go, oh, shit. So I try to fix it or whatever. I'm pressing the button. I'm trying to fix it. I'm pretending to know what I'm doing. You know, because when a man gets asked to do a mechanical rectification station, when a man gets asked to fix something mechanical, even though they have zero idea about the mechanics within the problem, they will still try. I've seen my uncle grab a big shift spanner and just hit the top of the engine bay of a car that wasn't starting. He tried everything. He looked, he poked, he prodded. My car still wouldn't start. So he just got this huge 14-inch shift spanner, like a wrench, and just hit the top of my VL. I go, hey, Panda, what are you doing, bro? You're going to smash. He goes, relax. I'm kicking over. I'm starting this starter motor. I go, fuck off, bear. Chich. Sorry, I don't want to disrespect you, you know, but you can't call them by their name. You got to call them Chich. So if you're going to swear at him, you go, fuck off, Chich. At least then you haven't gone complete disrespect and shamed the family. But mechanically, I had no idea. So I'm holding the button. My missus is looking at me like hopeful. It's like I'm like one of the prophets that have walking around with Jesus. I'm trying to give her advice. I like, leave it to Beaver. I'm going to fix this. Anyway, after about 2 minutes, I gave up. And I said to her, call one of the Qantas staff. We're going to have to get them to reset this, rejig this, whatever they have to do. She ends up calling him, and some lady comes over there with an ass that somehow can pack into a skirt. I've never seen like a zebra's ass. It's like some land mammal that runs away from big cats. The amount of glute power that this thing had in her ass could have kicked open the fucking Qantas door mid-flight. If she reared up and booted the door backwards, it would have blown the door out and we've all been sucked out into our ultimate demise. The ass on this woman, and I'm saying that with the greatest respect, how the fuck did you get it that big? I'm squatting like a champion. I've got coming out with a little boy's ass. It's embarrassing for me. Your ass looked like somebody that could prop up a Christmas tree. Now, I'm angry about it because it's a very nice looking ass, too big to be honest, and I don't have the artillery to be able to handle that type of ass if I was single. I'm not saying it now, I'm married, obviously very loyal. But if I was single, I don't have the artillery to work. Anyway, this is all going to get out through my kids or my wife, or I'm going to be fucked. So my missus calls and she goes, oh my God, oh yeah, wow. I think she's Aussie. Wow, she had to be from the Gold Coast, somewhere over there. Her boyfriend has got more tats than sense, right? So, oh, wait, yeah, it's not, okay, let us try and reset it. Oh no, how you going to sleep? No. And my missus is like, I can't sleep like this. I won't sleep like this. I'm going to be, I'll be fucking jet lagged for a week. I need to go and see Auntie Robbich. I'm going to be fucked up. And this girl goes, no, we'll fix it. Don't worry. There's no way you can, okay. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about it. I'll just put the eye shades on. I'll sleep. I don't want to be bothered. Just let, anyway, my missus is like, there's no way. I need to move. So they come up, they go, we've got another emergency seat 14 rows back. Do you want to go? There. Now look at my missus. I'm like, I don't want you to leave me. What, to look at the zebra? I can't do it. Like, I need you near me, you know? And she was like, oh, baby, I won't sleep here. I can't sleep here. So I look at the women. I go, we can't be apart. We made a vow at the church. You can't be apart, you know? Bought together, live together, fly together, die together, you know? And she was like, oh, well, we don't have two seats. And I was like, fix that shit. All right? Fix that shit. Don't come at me with excuses. I need answers. All right? I'm in the rich economy class. I'm in the tight ass business here. I need you to fix that shit right now. So she goes, all right, let me go and have a talk to the captain. She didn't talk to a captain. She spoke to some Indonesian man wearing eyeshadow. Then she came back and she goes, okay, so, and she brought two other zebras with her as well. And they were like bent over as well, like looking at my missus with empathy. You know, we have a lot of empathy. It's all training. It's all pretend. All the empathy. She doesn't give a fuck about my missus. She wants to finish this shit up so she can go and drink some sparkling Schweppes lemonade back with the Indonesian guy with the eyeshadow and talk shit for the next 8 hours while people sleep and watch Bruce Willis movies. She doesn't want to talk to my missus and she wants to sort it. But she's coming in, she's like, I can appreciate you're quite upset. And I can also empathize with you that you need to sleep. And I also endeavor to give you the service that you need for you to successfully make the trip over to Los Angeles. And my missus is like, thank you. Thank you. I'm sitting there, I'm irritated by the whole thing. Fuck is the framing up. Just give us an answer. She goes, we've got two seats upstairs in the premium economy. Would you guys both like to have those seats up? There's hardly anyone up in premium economy. It's in an A380. We're in a double-story plane. And I looked at my missus. Now, inside, I'm like, fuck yeah. This is going to be fucking sick. Right? There's another 10 hours left in this trip. She goes, however, and there's always a caveat in we're going to need you to come back down for the landing because the smug bricks upstairs that actually paid and did their ass in for an extra 12 centimeters of knee space, they don't want some tight asses that have got business class tight ass downstairs. Tight ass business class. That works. Tight ass business class. Tap. They don't want you to be there landing with them. You know, because they're thinking you're not of our caliber. And I already knew that as soon as she said that. It's got nothing to do with anything. Why not? I just took my passport and my backpack and I went upstairs. Now, they don't want that. Because then it shows the people that did their ass in for 12 centimeters more, we're just giving away these seats, right? So then they had to go and tell this semi-alcoholic guy with Gilly, his neck popping out of his head when he was sitting there. He was so red. The guy did not sleep a single wink the whole way to Los Angeles. Did not sleep for 1 second. He was just there, just pounding white wines. When we got upstairs, I could instantly tell people turning around. They were looking around. They just kept looking, and I'll go to my missus, look at it, they don't like us up here. You know, they think we're from just regular economy. They don't realise that we're from tight-ass business class. They basically think that we're these peasants, that we did an upgrade for an extra $350 each for tight-ass business class. And she was like, fuck them, I don't give a shit about them. I love that about my missus. So banks down. You can take her out of Bankstown. You can't take the Bankstown out of her. She can give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they think. All right? Let them say something. I don't care. Who cares? You know, so we sit down. We got so smug that we took 2 rows. So they go in seats of 2, left and right. We sat down for a bit. I popped on a movie. I laid this seat back. Now, it goes to about 50% back. Like, you know, you got business class, goes all the way flat, so you can basically do doggy style with your missus if you want. But this one goes 50% back. So we laid it back. However, not as comfortable for me as the tight-ass business class. There was something about it. You're locked in. You can't move the middle divider of the seat, so you have to basically have this steel thing jamming up against your huge thigh. So for me, I've realized I need full business class. That's where I have to get to in my life, where I've bringing enough value to people that I can fly business class, and it's justified because you can offset your tax. I can't go tight as business class or premium economy. I've just got to go straight business class. And guess what? I've made up my mind it's going to happen. Yes, I might spend majority of my budget on my own comfort, but I'm still going to do it one day because I've not done it once yet. I've lived over 40 years on this fucking planet. My missus has done it. Why can't I do it? So I end up going to the seat row behind her and really stretching out. And we ended up sleeping. But because of the food that was given downstairs and because of all of these kind of smug people, or at least the ones that saw us come upstairs and turn around several times, I farted for about 6 hours between Waikiki and Los Angeles. As the economy class style food was semi-digesting, I just farted the whole time. Give everyone a taste of economy. All right, we've got a lot of questions from this week's podcast. All right, discuss your tipping experience in the States and how is it's a bad thing. Also, how catastrophic is the tipping situation in the States? Everything needs to be tipped over there, man. Because I saw an advertisement that said we need staff at this restaurant, and they were offering $14 an hour. Now, that's the situation that you got over there. $14. Who the fuck is wasting their life for $14 an hour? Okay? I understand it's what you give the country. It's not what the country gives you. I get that. I don't know, George Jefferson or someone said that. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, fucking $14, bro. Let people live a bit. Give them $27 an hour. Give them $25 an hour. If you're going to give them a slug, cleaning hamburger grease off the floor of some slippery tiles that were installed in the 70s, you got to give him a bit more to live, man, before he throws himself in front of a Tangara. You can't deal with it, that much stress. But anyway, up until the age of 20, I get it. You can kind of juice people because they're aimless and boring and impulsive. And then after that, they start to go, I don't want to do this anymore. But you need young people to work so you can increase the profit margin. We're a capitalistic society. And I get it, but it's not fair. I think Australia's got a way better system here where you pay people a fair wage. I think what's the minimum wage? Probably $15 here as well. I don't know. It's not much. But over there, I think it was like $14, $15, something like that. Stupid. But saying that, when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, I was getting paid, I was offered $300 a week, 8 hours a day. Let's work out what this is, bro. That's interesting because I was working for less than that shit. Can't even find my calculator. All right, 5 days, 300 divided by 5, that's 60 a day divided by 8 hours, $7.50 an hour? Bitch, cut the materin, bro. What is that? And then it went to 500 after maybe 6 months or a year, divided by 5 days. That's $100 a day, divided by 8 hours. I was there for longer. $12 for materin, bro. Fuck you, bear. Look, it was 2000 or 2001, but still, man. It's so fucking cheap. These pricks are driving around in Jaguars and Mercedes and Maseratis and Beamers. I'm out here in a beat-up Barina getting paid $6.50, $7.50 an hour. Ah, man, life's a joke. Anyway, like the tipping situation, it is what it is, man. You got to tip for everything. You're tipping the train driver. You're tipping this. You're tipping that. I was tipping everyone, man. And my missus, she was like, the first night when we went to a restaurant, my mates, the dinner was, let's say, $500. And then in the end, we paid $600. And my missus goes, what's going on with the tippage? I was like, this is what they do here. Then you need to tip them. She goes, that was the worst service, the worst service. And it's true, in America, you usually get really good service because these people are licking your ass the whole time so they can get a mad tip because they're getting drilled by the Armenian guy that owns the restaurant. He's like, oh, you cannot pay you too much maximum. And they're like, okay, cool, no worries. So they like munch your ass basically, so then they can get some tips. And I would do the same thing. I'll be munching ass continuously. Basically a gay porno out there when I'm doing my shift if I was working there. And that's what the tipping situation is. And there's no way around it. I've tried it a couple of times in the past. I ended up not tipping some lady once in America when I went there in the early noughties, maybe 08, 09 or whatever it was. And she chased me out of the diner. She's like, excuse me. Oh, yeah, you, sir. Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking to you, sir. Yeah. What makes you think that I'm worthless? Okay? Oh, yeah. And I was like, my mates go, did you tip her, dude? I was like, tip? Yeah, I don't know, man. It was like $28. I got $11.30. Oh, no, you can't do that, dude. You can't do that. You got to leave like at least $7, $8. And I was like, what for? That's a third of what for? I didn't even finish the burger. You can't do that, all right? You fucking can't do that here, dude. She's on $6.50 an hour. Do you even know what that fucking feels like? I'm like, yes, I know exactly what that feels like. All right. Did you find any tight asses in New York? Here's one. All right. Has New York become Gotham City? All right. So I'm just going to be straight up here. We weren't bashed. We were not touched. Right now, you'd be fucking stupid to walk up to me anyway. I'm big and burly and 6'3" and over 100 kilos, so I don't look like the type of guy. Plus, I got a head only a mother could love. So you're kind of a bit like, look at this, there's some bear, this guy. You don't know, it's unpredictable. Now, I've got a couple of mates where that would get bashed. Now, I know I'm not going to mention their names, but some of them, they look like they could get bashed, but they'd bash you anyway. They've got a lot of childhood trauma, and their dad used to bash them in the garage. But they will bash you. They don't look like they could get bashed. They don't look like they could bash you, but they would. They put when they're bashing you, they're going to just picture the dad the whole time. They think, I'm finally going to get it, fucking, you now, finally, right? And I'm not that type of guy. I'll just look like I'm a big guy. Now, my missus, the first day we got to New York, we got off the flight, and we got onto an air train or whatever they call it, the air freight. Fuck, it's hot in this double brick furnace today. Aircon's going on, I don't care. Oh, I'm sweaty, I'm drippy. We got onto this train and we went to Jamaica, Queens, where 50 Cent is. I've been patiently waiting for a track to explode on. Now, 50 Cent comes from Jamaica, Queens. I looked out of the train station into Jamaica, Queens. There's not a soul alive there. It's just streets. It looks like fucking the back streets of Greenacre. It's just boring houses, the whole thing. There's not people sitting on the corner and go, she, you want one of the packs, man, 2 for 25s, baby, 2 for 25, she. There's none of that's going on, right? I'm not being racist. I'm just quoting a lot of hip-hop albums that I grew up listening to. Now, 2 for 25s, that's a Raekwon quote from Only Built for Cuban Links. Yes, I know a lot of hip-hop. Yes, that's okay. I don't look like I do. I look like I know a lot of Serbian folk music, but at the same time, out here clapping and slapping and trapping. So I got to remember to stay close. This is New York City now. I've heard they defunded the place here because some politicians over here who are secretly part of some human trafficking ring, they don't want to have police around so they can continue being demons in disguise. Now, I was aware of that. My missus, she hasn't listened to a podcast except for the one that she featured on episode 200 of this in her life because she's too busy and she has a life, whereas my whole life is a joke. So I'm constantly listening to podcasts and trying to get my head around this topical catastrophe that's going on so I can say that to you guys in a far more funnier way than the podcast that I listen to. So we get to New York City. We get out of Penn Station, which is Pennsylvania Station. We start walking. We're only 6 blocks away. I don't know. I can't think about it. I think it was 31st and 37th. 6 blocks away. As soon as we got out of the train station, the stench of marijuana hit my face so hard that I go to my missus, I'm high now. I'm stoned. I'm paranoid. Show me where a White Castle's hamburger shop is. The stench in the air, you can catch a contact. Now, that's another black saying, right? It's a very hip-hop saying, man, I'm going to catch a contact with that shit, right? So contact is when someone's got secondhand smoke and then you end up getting high on behalf of that smoke. It's catching a contact, right? Now, I know all of this stuff because very cultured person, very urban. So I'm Keith Urban, right? I'm Keith Urban out here. With the hair and the contact and the hip-hop, I'm Keith Urban. So I end up going up the stairs. The repulsive stench of secondhand marijuana smoke, after it's being filtered through a human body, hits me, and I go to my missus, weed. I don't like weed. I've smoked weed plenty of times. Why do you think I got the hair and the musical capacity? It's not because of my DNA is creative and I was brought up in a kind of by musical grandfather and somehow attracted to music. It's because I smoked weed. And weed really makes you a very artistic person. So if you're a creative person, you're not until you smoke weed. You've really got to smoke weed, and then you can be creative like Bob Marley. So I end up going upstairs. I'll go hold my hand to my missus. Now, I don't know what was going on. There was a New York Knicks game or something like that, but there was a lot of people on the street, and it looked rough. And we got there maybe, it was dark, 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., something like that. It was early, but it was dark. So New York is getting dark at about 4:30 p.m. At the moment. So I ended up like holding my missus' hand, all these luggages. We're walking up the street, up 8th Avenue, and we're walking to the Hilton Suites. Now, there's homeless people asking for cash on every corner, right? Excuse me, can you spare $1? Can you spare $1, right? And I'm going to have my cash at the moment. I'm like, sorry. My missus cannot say no to anyone. She says, spare $1? Yes, certainly. She gives some $5 Australian. The guy looked at it, he didn't know what. He thought he fucking won the lottery. He probably thought that this is some Ukrainian money or something, and he's going to end up trading that in for $500. He looked at it and said, oh, my God. Yeah, what's that? We're like Australian. Oh, fuck yeah. He doesn't realize it's worth $2.50 American. But we keep walking. Now, turn around the corner. I go to my missus, looks rough. Right? I've been to New York. This is my 4th time. So, yeah, 4 times? 5 times? I went 08. I went 11, 13. This is my 4th time. It's not the same as it was in 2013, 2011. 08 was it was pretty good. 08. 2011 was neat, clean. 2013, fucking beautiful, man. Like, we were walking home drunk at night time. We didn't see a homeless person. There was a few around. Drugs? No drugs. We weren't seeing in Manhattan anyone shooting up. Now, we come around the corner. On the first night walking to a hotel, there's 4 or 5 homeless druggos right next to the door of the hotel, one of them shooting up, right? He's scratching his arm, his wrist. Now, I'm looking at this because I'm raised in the 90s. All of that drug culture was brought out in the 90s, and I'd seen movies and all of that, and I saw it and I was like, oh, fuck, I got to my missus, hold my hand right now. We're walking underneath like a building site, so they've got scaffolding up, and they've got some shelter. The rest of the street is open, so these janks are sitting under the shelter, right? And there was like 4 black guys and like a shady white looking guy. And that white guy was the guy down on his knees, basically about to shoot up or shooting up, or he just shot up or whatever. And I was like, oh God, there's nothing that fucking freaks me out more than that. Like, I get angry from that. I go to my missus, hold my hand, come here please. I'm pushing the bags. And one of the janks just yells out, let the people through. Oh, get out of the way, let the people through. Like, this guy was like commandeering the janks. He was like, hey man, we're just innocently shooting up on the side of the road. Don't call the cops. We're going to let you through with your 4 suitcases. And he starts like commandeering these kind of people that are like zombies. And they're just like, and he's like, move over. So I was thinking, this guy's cracked out. The other guys are on heroin or whatever. He didn't know what day it was. This guy's like, he knew exactly what fucking day it was, what hour it was, what time of the year, what month. This guy could have told us which way he was facing on the compass. So he was that sharp. So we got inside the room, had a bit of a quick snooze, that, got changed, and we went out to a restaurant. Now, the restaurant's beautiful. Again, expensive, the whole thing. Then we were walking home. We walked down 5th and 6th Avenue, so that was all safe. But as soon as we started walking through the streets towards our place, there's more homeless people. So we had to cross the road, come back. Gave us a real New York vibe. We're crossing the road again. I haven't crossed the road in New York ever in the last 3 times that I went there. This time I'm like, there's 4 janks sitting on the floor. I'm crossing the road. And my missus here, I'm crossing the road. This is when you need dimchi yofchi borchi blagoche, because they're almost waiting for a brawl, these guys. What else happened? That was a little bit Gotham-like, a bit zombie apocalypse-like. I didn't like it. I saw a lot of homeless people, a lot of... the next morning, some guy with a crack pipe in his hand on the corner. We went for a run with my missus. As we get to the corner, he's like, man, that guy's a bitch. That guy's a bitch. He's yelling at his mate. And I look at his hand, and he's holding a crack pipe in one hand and a lighter in the other hand. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is out in the open now. You know, these guys are not even hiding anymore. It's a beautiful morning, sun shining, he's got a little crack pipe open in his hand. And that kind of disappoints me, man. Like, I don't want to name and shame these janks, but it is sad. It's fucking horrible. My missus was feeding these people like Mother Mary McKillop. She's out here she was handing out $1,000 worth of tips to these guys. She's giving them cash. Anyone that's asked, she went into the 7-Eleven once to break a 50. She was going to give him the 50. I go, don't be fucking stupid, bro. What are you doing? Okay, give him $1 too. She goes, oh, I don't have $1 or $2. I go, the shops do? Go in and buy some Wrigley's chewing gum and come out. Give him $1 or $2. What are you doing with the 50 out here? You're fucking asking me how much the Donald Trump hat was yesterday at the store. $17. You got upset. I will keep on with the New York City vibe. The New York state of mind, yeah. Asunta goes, any tips on New York City, things to do or avoid? All right, so if I'm going to stay in New York City, I call myself a New Yorker now. I'm a proud New Yorker. If I was going to stay in New York City again, I'd stay south of, say, 22nd Street. Go south. So the suburbs within Manhattan that you want to stay in is probably like NoHo, Soho, West Village, Greenwich Village, Meatpacking District, not so much, but don't go too far south, like where you get into Lower East Side. But they're just under Midtown as you go down past Midtown. Midtown's shit. Don't stay in Midtown. Upper West Side is good, on the west side of the Central Park. So if you look at the map, you'll see it's like a upside down wine bottle. You got Central Park. On the left-hand side of Central Park is the Upper West Side. That's nice. That's quite urban, a lot of families and stuff like that. That's quite nice and safe. If you go to Midtown, which is from the top of like 57th from Central Park, the bottom of Central Park, through Times Square and all of that, that's down to like 30th to Penn Station. So there's about 27 blocks there. That's Midtown. I don't like it, man. It's like it's too busy. There's a lot of druggos. There's a lot of homeless people. There are some like kind of cool places. You go to Times Square. You got some cool old restaurants that were first there, Delmonico's and Keen's Steakhouse and all of this stuff. These are all things that have been there from the 19th century. But forget that. Like you want to go more like the Village, West Gramercy, NoHo, Soho, even like Chinatown, Koreatown. All of down that area is kind of cool. They've really they've pumped it up. It's a real gentrification station down there. Safer. I didn't see as many fiends around there. They're more around the big stations, Penn Station, 57th, and all of that stuff. That's where they're copping their hits. So I kind of like the South. That was good. Also Brooklyn, Williamsburg is like a hipster haven. I didn't go this time. I've been before. I didn't go this time. That was good. I did go to New Jersey, to Newark. I went 4 times because that's where the Tony Robbins seminar was. Shit, I didn't even talk about the Tony Robbins seminar. I'm going to do another podcast on Monday or Tuesday, and I'm going to filter in some of the most mental things that happened to me while I was in New York. That's for sure. There's some funny shit that happened, man. Then I would probably go around there. That's what I was saying. That's a good thing about New York. Things to do. Go restauranting. There's mad food there. You need money. It's not cheap. You're paying double for everything. So if me and my missus spend about $250 US on dinner, that's $500. So you're paying double for everything. Go running along the Hudson River. That's always nice. They've got city bikes, which is e-bikes. You can ride them around the city if you want to die or end up in ICU. If you don't, ride them around Central Park or up and down the Hudson. It's very cold between November and, say, March. So if you're going to go, probably April through October is probably the best time. During our colder months, that's when you want to go, because it is as cold as a witch's tit in New York in November, December, January. It snows. The wind howling through those wind tunnels of tall buildings, it's not pleasant. You're not going to enjoy yourself. Yeah, so that's probably what I would do, and enjoy your life, bro. All right, let's do one more, man, and I'm going to have to kick it. I want to go play some tennis. All right. Should we keep it with the American vibe? Maybe we can. See anyone famous on your travels? No. I did get noticed at Penn Station by one of the, I don't know if he's a podcast listener or whatever, but he just messaged me. I was running for the train in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, bro, were you at Penn Station just now?" I was like, "Yeah, man. How the fuck do you know that?" He goes, "Man, I thought it was you. There's no one ripping around with the sunnies and the hairstyle and wearing a Vlad shirt like you." So he goes, "I thought that's got to be you, man." I was like, yeah, man. Going to New Jersey. That was where the Anthony Robbins seminar was. We went to New Jersey, and it was it was called the Prudential Center. And it was pretty awesome, man. Like the entire experience was very uplifting, very motivating, very liberating. And I'm just generally a skeptical person, man. I'm a person that's like cynical and skeptical, jaded, whatever you want to call it. But I'm also at the same time open to change, and I'm malleable to a certain extent as I age. If you're not malleable, man, life will fucking make you malleable. So you've got to do what you can to keep that New York state of mind. It's time, man. Oh, God. It's time, man. Yeah, let's try this again. All right, love, you got to leave, yo. I'm going to do another podcast because I was late this week. We got out on Monday. Keep that New York state of mind. There's some big news coming soon. Brad!